Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cameron. So in today's video I'm going to talk about black romance movies, and I'm going to talk about how there's not a lot of great examples of black love in black movies, especially some of the popular ones. Those are some of the worst. So the purpose of this video is to address unhealthy, toxic, problematic black relationships that are portrayed in black movies. I know that movies, like, you're supposed to have drama, but I feel like they take it too far and the relationship is just toxic or just unhealthy, and that's what's being portrayed to a lot of people as far as what black love looks like, when that's not it. There are many black movies that represent black love and black relationships in like the most healthiest of ways. Okay, so before we get into the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you'll be notified whenever I post a new video. Without further ado, let's get into this video. I'm going to talk about 5 different black love movies. There's really way more that I can talk about. Pretty much all of them I can talk about. There's something wrong. And let me just say, I really liked all of these movies. I'm not bashing black love movies. I love black love movies. It's probably my favorite movie to watch, actually. When you think about it, the relationships portrayed in those movies isn't an accurate representation of what black love looks like and what black love is actually like in real life, because I know what black love looks like because I've seen it multiple times in real life, and that it is not accurately portrayed in movies. The first movie I'm going to talk about is Just Right with Common and Queen Latifah. I actually just watched this movie like 3 weeks ago. Again, good movie. I'm not bashing any of these movies, but the thing with Just Right that it just got me. Okay, so Common's character was named Scott, Latifah's character was named Leslie, and then we're gonna talk about Paula Patton's character Morgan. So Scott, Leslie, and Morgan. So Leslie and Morgan were cousins. Morgan, she was pretty much, lack of a better word, she was a gold digger. All she wanted was to marry a rich man. That was her goal in life, to marry a rich man so that he can take care of her. She didn't care about anything else. She just wanted to marry a rich man, and that was like what she cared about in life. And Leslie, she was really down to earth. She was a physical therapist. She wasn't worried about trying to have a man. She was just trying to, live her life, do her job, get her money, and just call it a day. Then Scott and Leslie meet at the gas station, and you can tell that there was some interest there, especially on his end. You can tell his interest was piqued. You can tell he was intrigued by Leslie, and so he invites her to his birthday party. And when she gets there, you can tell he's excited to see her. Like, he immediately goes up to her once he sees her. So that just proves he was feeling her a little bit. But then immediately when he saw Morgan, Leslie's cousin, his eyes switched, like, oh, because he was just so attracted to her. He was so enamored by her appearance that he just completely forgot about Leslie. He focused all of his attention towards Morgan. He just went right after her immediately. And she did it on purpose. She knew that they were going to his birthday party, and so she got all dolled up and intruded onto their conversation to, like, oh, act like I have to leave. But she just wanted him to see her because, again, she was kind of a gold digger. She basically trapped him. He fell for it, completely forgot about Leslie. Him and Morgan got together and they were in a relationship. Leslie just fell to the wayside, kind of, and they got engaged. Scott, professional basketball player, he busts up his knee, he gets very hurt, and he can't play anymore for the time being. And then, of course, Morgan, being a gold digger, she sees that he can't play, so the money's not coming in. She leaves him while he's hurt. Morgan leaves her fiance while he was hurt. She doesn't stick by his side and try to help him heal and be there for him emotionally. She just ups and leaves him in a note. She didn't even tell him, in a note. That's next level of disrespect. And so after Morgan leaves him, Leslie decides to be his physical therapist. Just decides to move into Scott's house and train him and to help heal his knee so that he can get back to playing basketball. They're spending every single day together. They start to fall for each other. Scott and Leslie, they get together, and so they're like basically almost a couple at this point. Leslie's still training him, and Scott is feeling a lot better now. He's starting to get back into playing basketball, and he's starting to get back on track. Him and Leslie are like really happy together, and they're in the honeymoon phase, and it just is great. But then Morgan comes back saying that she wants to be with him again, because again, Morgan's a gold digger. So she sees that he's recovering and he's about to start playing basketball again, and she knows that the money is going to start coming back in again. He's like one of the major NBA players. Her trifling self comes back and he falls for it again. He gets right back with her right after he just got with Leslie. So he falls for it. So basically he just got with Leslie, and then Morgan comes back saying that she wants to be with him and she misses him and she wants to be a couple again. And he's like hesitant at first, but then he falls for it. He wants to get back with her, and then he tells Leslie, like, I'm gonna get back with your cousin, and he just forgets about her again. Scott breaks it off with Leslie, and then he gets right back with Morgan, so they're a couple again. But then he realizes that their relationship is very superficial and that that Morgan's a gold digger and that his real connection was with Leslie. He breaks it off with Morgan to get with Leslie finally at the end of the movie. Once he heard that there were multiple other physical therapist job offers from other NBA teams wanting to recruit her to join their team in other states. And once he heard that, he was like, oh no, I gotta go get her. Thing is with Just Wright that I find unhealthy is that Leslie's character, she was just put on the back burner. She was like his second choice twice. Scott was clearly more attracted to Morgan, but he had a better connection with Leslie. So I guess it just portrayed like he was like toying between the two. It's important to be attracted and have a great connection with the person that you're dating. It doesn't have to be one or the other. Like, I just didn't like that Leslie was his second choice twice. He basically ditched her for her cousin Morgan twice. And it just shows that it's just fake. If someone really likes you, they'll go right for you. I feel like they're not gonna just leave you just to go with the better option. They'll stick by you because they really like you and they want to pursue you. I just didn't like that. I didn't like that when him and Leslie finally got together, he ditched her to go back to her cousin immediately. And then he said sorry once and they got right back together. Like, what is that telling people about relationships? Like, he didn't even have to work for it when they got back together at the end of the movie. Like, he did nothing, no effort. After what he put her through, ditching her for her cousin, to be engaged again, to get married to her cousin. It's just it's so weird. Such a weird dynamic that they had. But still a good movie though. So the next movie I'm going to talk about is Poetic Justice. I'm not going to say too much about this movie because I haven't seen this movie in years, but I'm just going to talk about one specific couple. I'm going to focus this segment of the video on Aisha in Chicago, who was played by Regina King, and I don't know the guy's name. So their relationship was just out of control. Like, it was ridiculous. It was horrible. I'm just going to talk about one scene in particular when they were in Lucky's truck. Aisha and Chicago were in the back, and then this truck stops, and then they're fighting, yelling, arguing at each other, and they get out the car and he starts laying hands on her. They start swinging at each other, fighting like two men in the street. It's like such a toxic relationship. To say that their relationship was unhealthy would be a complete understatement. Like, their relationship was awful and it was ridiculous. They're fighting each other. Two black people. This would be Black Love movie, and all the black relationships in the movie were And again, I know this is a classic. It's a great movie. Like, where's the love? There's no actual, it's like a black movie, but there's no real love in the movie. And like, what does that tell like young people who watch that movie when they see a couple, a man and a woman, fist fighting each other? Like, what does that tell them about what a relationship is supposed to look like? For Lucky and Justice had an attitude with Lucky for the first half of the movie. Again, no real love. And again, I know they just met, so obviously no, but where's the real connection? Like, if they really like each other. She had an attitude half the time. And it's just problematic because it's just, again, not an accurate portrayal of what love is, because love is not supposed to be fist fighting and cussing each other out and yelling at each other. That's what I didn't like about that movie. And so the third movie I'm going to talk about is Think Like a Man with Kevin Hart, Gabrielle Union, Taraji P. Henson, Regina Hall. So the first couple I'm going to talk about is Lauren and Dominic. So with Lauren and Dominic, their relationship started out with lies. It started off with lies when Dominic got in that random person's car, raced down the street to follow Taraji to the stoplight, and tried to act like that was his car so that she would think that he was rich, so that she could think something about him that wasn't true. Even Lauren herself, she was shallow. Like, she refused to date a man who made less than 6 figures, who didn't have a high profile job, who wasn't just rich and powerful and had a high status in life. That was like all she wanted. And I know some people who live like the hypergamous lifestyle say that's a good thing, but sometimes the person that's really for you doesn't make 6 figures. He maybe make 6 figures one day, but he may not make 6 figures right now, and that's something that she was just so focused on. And I just felt like that wasn't good. And Lauren, she was so shallow to the point when she found out that Dominic was a chef and that he wasn't rich, she really considered breaking up with him. And of course he lied to her, so of course, but I feel like it was more so because he was a chef than the fact that he lied, because she didn't like that. She made more money than him, she was more powerful than him, she was of a higher status than him. She didn't like that. She wanted to date someone, I guess, on her level, I guess, and she didn't like his job, and so she was considering breaking up with him. He was a chef. Let me just say, he was a chef. That's not a bad job. It's not like he was scraping gum from off of under the tables. Like, he was a chef. That's a good job. He's not broke. Basically, Lauren and Dominic's dynamic, it was just start off on lies. Their foundation was Lauren being shallow, Dominic being a liar, and then just being on different pages. And then they changed and they evolved by the end of the movie, but again, I just didn't like how it started off with lies and deceit and shallowness. I didn't like that. And again, I know nobody's perfect, but still, Like, why did it have to start off like that? How come you couldn't just be honest with her? Like, I'm a chef, I don't drive a nice car, and I don't make 6 figures or 7 figures. Just be himself and be happy with it, because him lying like that shows that he's insecure. Like, a lot of us are insecure, but it's like too much. He took it too far. Okay, so the next couple I'm going to talk about is Kristen and Jeremy. First off, Jeremy had major commitment issues. Like, that was clear. They were together 7-8 years and no ring, and they were living together. When you watch the movie, it seemed like he had no real plans of proposing anytime soon. Jeremy was basically a child stuck inside of a grown man's body. And I know this couple is not really like black love, but they're in the movie, so we're just gonna talk about them. Jeremy, he just wasn't marriage material. Kristen, she was definitely like the man in the relationship, and the dynamic in the relationship is definitely a parent-child dynamic. Like, Kristen was the parent and Jeremy was the child. She was basically running things, and she was taking care of him, and he was being taken care of. She was basically just handling all the work, doing what a man's supposed to do, basically. And he was just laying there playing video games all day and collecting his figurines like a child. And their parent-child dynamic is bound to trickle into their marriage. She's gonna be the one basically ending up doing all of the heavy lifting and being the man, taking care of everything, running everything, and doing everything that Jeremy's supposed to be doing while he's laying around, again, playing video games or hanging out with his friends all day. Unhealthy thing in their relationship is that Jeremy is just so immature. They basically had to like beat into his head to propose because they had been together for so long, because he wasn't even thinking about it at first. How are you with someone for that long and you still haven't proposed, and you know full well that they want to get married, that you guys have talked about getting married before, and you still haven't done it? It shows like a lack of communication and just huge immaturity for me. So the next couple I'm going to talk about is Candace and Mike. They're probably the best couple out of all of them, but Mike was a super mama's boy. That's not cute. That is not cute. And of course, you want to be with a man who has a good relationship with his mother, who respects his mother and respects her opinion, of course. But he took it to the next level. Mike's mom had way too much say in his life, in who he dealt with, and they were too close. Maybe that's bad to say. His mom had just too much say and too much input in what went on in his life and who was in his life. Of course, as a mom, you're gonna have an opinion about your kids, but it's like Mike brought Candace to meet his mom. What was that, on the first date? Are you a child? How old are we? Are we 15? Like, do not take a person and meet your parents on the first date. That's weird. Can you make a decision without your mom being involved? Can you have a person in your life without your mom being involved within the first date? I can understand if you did that like the 5th or the 6th date, but not the first. Too close to his mom, extreme mama's boy. I guess you'd rather have a mama's boy than a man who doesn't like his mom at all, but gosh. Yeah, so the last couple we're gonna talk about from this movie is Zeke and Maya. Or they probably had like the weirdest dynamic of all the couples, I probably would say. Zeke's whole goal after he met Maya was to just sleep with her. That's all he wanted. He didn't want to get to know her. He didn't want to spend any actual time with her. He just wanted to sleep with her. That's it. That's okay if you just want to sleep with someone. That's okay, but he didn't make that clear. That was his intention. He should have said that. He never said that. He faked and act like he was trying to get to know her and act like he wanted to know all about her and spend time with her, but really he just wanted to sleep with her. So he was being fake. He only just wanted one thing from her. He didn't tell her that. Just be clear with your intentions and communicate what you want to come out of this relationship. If you just want to do one thing, then say that. Maya, she wanted a relationship. She wanted a boyfriend. She wanted someone to spend her life with. And Zeke just wanted someone to sleep with. So they were already from the very beginning on 2 different pages. And so then Zeke, he reads the book, the Think Like a Man by Steve Harvey book. He felt like he got put on game for what women wanted to hear. And so one day they were on a date, they were walking, and then he introduced Maya as his girlfriend, knowing full well he didn't want her to be his girlfriend. And so of course, after Maya hears that, she gets all excited and then she sleeps with him. And then he finally gets what he wants. So he basically kind of set the trap and she kind of fell for it, and he ended up getting what he wanted. Basically, Zeke, he's a liar and a manipulator. He literally called her his girlfriend. He knew that that's what she wanted, and he knew that if he said that she was gonna sleep with him. Their whole relationship was just rooted on lack of communication, lying, and manipulating. Not an accurate portrayal of black love at all. Okay, so the 4th movie we're gonna talk about is Why'd I Get Married? And the first couple we're gonna talk about from this movie is Angela and Marcus. There's not enough things I could ever say about this couple. Angela and Marcus, they are the epitome of unhealthy. Their relationship sucks, really. It's ridiculous. Like, all they do is argue and fight. It's like, it's not even like little bickering. They're fighting and arguing. And plus there's cheating, there's lying, huge lack of communication. Like, they communicate by yelling, but the subtext is missing. What they're really angry about and what they're really fighting about, they're not saying to each other. They're just fighting about on the surface thing. But that's not the real issue. The real issue is underneath. underneath, which is what they're not addressing at all. So Angela, she's always upset with Marcus. She's always mad at him, always cussing at him, always yelling at him, and Marcus just sits there and takes it, or he goes right back at it. Like, the thing with Marcus and Angela, they're just really disrespectful towards each other. Just a huge lack of respect going on in their relationship, and it's extremely unhealthy. Okay, so the next couple I'm going to talk about is Pat and Gavin. And so Pat and Gavin, their relationship is kind of portrayed as like the perfect marriage, the perfect relationship, but really that's just the surface level that they want people to see. But really underneath, their relationship is nowhere near perfect. You can see that Gavin has some like deep-seated resentment towards Pat for basically the death of their son, so he blames her for it, and he doesn't say that, but inside he blames her for it. He resents her, and so that's where the rift and the divide in their relationship occurs. It's clear within their relationship that they don't truly express their feelings to one another. They have the thing that happened to their son, and they try to move on from it because Pat is so like closed off emotionally. Like, she doesn't reveal her true feelings to anyone, not even her husband, and that's like a huge issue in a marriage. Like, if you don't express yourself to anyone, at least express yourself to your spouse. They just kept their feelings bottled up and didn't talk about anything. And again, that's horrible portrayal of black love, because it just shows that there's no real intimacy in their relationship. You can tell, like, there's no real intimacy there. So the next couple I'm going to talk about is Diane and Terry. So you can just tell there's a huge rift in their relationship. Like, there's so much going on in that relationship. So first of all, Diane is cheating on Terry with her coworker, and she tries to act like, oh no, it's nothing. She gaslights him. Like, he knows, Terry knows deep down that she's doing something. She's like, oh no, it's nothing to worry about. Spending late hours at work and lying to him and acting like, oh, I just have so much work to do, but really she's cheating. Terry, he got a DNA test for their daughter because he suspected Diane of cheating. He wasn't sure if their daughter was actually his, so he got a DNA test behind her back. It's like the lies and the deceit and the gaslighting going on in their relationship is next level. And again, with this couple, it's a clear and obvious lack of communication, because if they had communicated with each other, then maybe Diane wouldn't have cheated. Maybe Terry wouldn't have felt the need to get a DNA test of their daughter behind her back. They would have a more loving relationship if they were more open and honest with each other. And of course, I know the title of the movie is Why Did I Get Married, so obviously you're not gonna have an extremely healthy couple in this movie, but like all these couples is just horrible. Okay, so the last couple we're gonna talk about is Mike and Sheila. Okay, so they're by far the worst couple in this movie. Mike and Sheila are horrible. So Mike, he's just a monster all around. He's a horrible husband, a horrible person. It's clear that he doesn't like her. Like, forget love, like he doesn't even like her. He was cheating on her with her friend. He body shames her constantly. He laughed in her face when she tried to, dress up for him and like spice it up. He laughed in her face. He had enough nerve to bring his side chick on a trip, a friend trip with him. And he had enough nerve to kick her off the plane when she couldn't fit in the seat on the airplane and let her drive by herself in the snow while he and the side chick flew on the plane. He basically flaunted the fact that he was cheating on her in front of her face, and she was just so like blind she couldn't see it. Their dynamic extremely unhealthy. He deserved what he got when she hit him over the head with that wine bottle. I'm sorry. He got knocked out unconscious for like a little bit, but that was it. All the couples in this movie need like a severe marriage counselor. Every single relationship in this movie is extremely unhealthy, toxic. Every single couple has obviously lack of communication, lack of intimacy, lack of trust, lack of respect. This movie is like a horrible portrayal of black love. But I know the name of the movie is Why Did I Get Married? So obviously you can't expect the couples to be like extremely healthy, but at least you can have one couple in there that was at least like, maybe they had like a few issues, but they were still like solid for the most part. But none of the couples did that. So the fifth and last movie that I'm going to talk about is The Photograph with Issa Rae. And let me just make a disclaimer, like, I love Issa Rae. She's my Capricorn sister, went to the same high school, and I enjoyed this movie. But I guess some people will say like this was a pretty good portrayal of black love, but it was all right portrayal of black love. I'm gonna focus this more on the mom's character. Christina and Isaac was Issa Rae's parents in the movie. So Christina, she was so secretive. She just wasn't open and honest at all with her partner, who was Isaac. The big thing was Christina had Isaac's baby. She had his child and never once told him. Went to her grave, never told he had a child. That's foul to me. But you guys were in a whole relationship. It's not like he was some random dude who got you pregnant. Like, he was your boyfriend. He was the father of your child. And you didn't even tell him that that was his baby. Like, that's just ridiculous to me. It's like May, who is Issa Rae's character, she had to like do a whole bunch of research, go digging and diving to find out that that was her dad. Like, she didn't even know, and she had to reveal to him that she was his child because he had no clue. I think he suspected, but she didn't confirm it. Christina didn't tell him. His daughter had to tell him, and he lost all that time that he could have had a daughter, that he could have been a part of her life, because she wanted to be secretive. That's, again, extremely unhealthy. And so with the main characters, May, who's Issa Rae's character, and Michael, who was Lakeith Stanfield, they're a pretty good couple for the most part, I guess. I just feel like they lacked chemistry. I'm sorry. Like, I feel like I'm alone in that. It's probably an unpopular opinion. Their love story just wasn't doing it for me. I don't know. It just wasn't doing anything for me. Like, the parents had more chemistry than May and Michael did. I don't know. It just wasn't resonating with me. It wasn't connecting. I just didn't feel it. I didn't feel the love. I just didn't feel any real chemistry between them. So I didn't love that movie. I didn't love their love story. Yeah. So nothing extremely unhealthy about their relationship, May and Michael, but yeah, just lack of chemistry. And I feel like if you want to have a good love story, you gotta have the chemistry. That's extremely important, if nothing else. So basically, the perfect Black love romance movie, I would like to see clear communication between the two couples, open and honest communication, no lies, no deceit, no manipulation, just clear, open communication both ways. I would like to see complete honesty and trust, no cheating, no sneaking behind the other person's back to do things that you know the person would be unhappy about. I just want to see like real love, chemistry, and intimacy between them, not just like surface level relationship, or a relationship where they're always fighting, where they're cussing each other out. I don't want to see that. Real love and real intimacy between the couples, what I would want to see in a relationship where they're both financially stable and no one's broke. They don't have to be rich. I feel like there's a lot of Black movies where you see the dynamic where the guy's broke and the woman has to like take care of him or financially provide for him, and nobody wants to see that. I would like to see a Black love movie where the couple genuinely likes each other and they genuinely respect each other, and it just really is, there's no unhealthiness, there's no toxicity. And I know every relationship has ups and downs. It's not gonna be good times all the time. Every relationship has issues and problems, but not so much so to the point where there's cheating, lying, manipulating, and sneaking around the other person's back. So guys, that's the end of my video. That's basically me talking about the unhealthy portrayals of Black love in Black movies. So let me know your thoughts down below. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on my post notifications so be notified whenever I post a new video, and tell me some more examples of like movies where there was like a lack of bad representation of like Black love in the movie, or tell me some movies where you think there was a good representation of Black love in the movie. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.